here now. Episode 2 of The Shy. First off, we got to give a shout out to everyone with the notifications on. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you can get something every time I upload. We on that grind to 2,000 subscribers. But this is episode 2 of The Shy. I'm Moedotj. You know I'm not going to hold you up. So let's go ahead and jump right into this because we got a lot of stuff that we need to figure out. Like, where's Keisha? We still need to know where's Keisha. So right off the bat, when they come in, it's Kevin walking around Keisha's room. He's looking because he hasn't seen her in a while. So he's like, man, where's my sister at? So it takes us into a flashback where they're riding around, Keisha, Kev, and the mom. And, you know, they got some food or whatever. The kids, they in the back seat, and Keisha's on the phone talking about Hotline Bling and why Drake is dancing off step because it's cold in Toronto, which makes sense, but you know it is. And Kev is just like, man, hey mom, like, are you eating my fries? And mom like, nah, I'm not eating your fries. He like, you don't even know. So he goes into Keisha's bag, her purse, and he ends up pulling out her pregnancy pills so she can't get pregnant. He doesn't know what it is, and as a kid, he just opens up thinking it's mints. He eats one. He's like, man, this thing is nasty. So it turns out Keisha looks, she like, man. So they start bickering and arguing. You know how we get. We in that back seat, you got your sibling. You like, man, look, you don't shut up, man. But anyway, mama's like, what are y'all doing? And then she looks at Kev, and you know Kevin gonna break down. She asking him, what are you hiding? And he's like, nothing. So pretty much he tells his mom that he didn't say what he had, but we can just assume that he told her I had a mint or something out of Keisha's bag. But obviously she didn't know that Keisha was on, you know what I'm saying, on these pregnancy pills. So she gets out, she's yelling at her, and Kevin he don't know what's really going on. So he just eating the fries and stuff. Keisha gets back in the car crying like, man, you always getting me in trouble. So we know these two always been close together, and Kev just thinking back about all that like, man, he hope ain't nothing wrong with his sister because he ain't seen her in a couple of days, man. He ain't even heard back from her. Now we head across town and we go see hustling ass Emmett. So you know Emmett and his little catering company that they took over for Brandon. He trying to get things going, but shoot, first episode, man, he had the little dinner and stuff for the wedding, the little reception. No one liked it, so they end up ordering pizza. So he pulls up to one of his baby mamas. She's throwing a baby shower. So he's got, you know what I'm saying, he's throwing it, he's catering it and stuff. But little does she know what Emmett is about to do. So she's pretty much going in on him, talking about, hey man, I heard about your food, man. Where's the food at? We got 30 minutes. So he's like, don't worry about it, man. I got it. So once she leaves, it turns out Emmett and Postmated all this food from all kinds of different caterers. And the food looks good. I mean, it's a Sunday right now. I could definitely use that food, but he didn't make none of it. He didn't make one thing in there. Well, he did make the punch. He made some punch and put a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, a little drink in there. But other than that, everything that he ordered was from a different company, a different restaurant. So Emmett's just pretty much like, all right, if they gonna pay me $100, I could spend $40 on, you know, catering different food and stuff. I mean, he hustling, but man, ain't nobody I'm not trying to go to an event and get some fried chicken in this KFC, man. And I like KFC, but man, I ain't trying to get KFC chicken. I want some of that chicken that y'all made in the back. Who's mama making that chicken? You know what I'm saying? So we get a short snippet on Ronnie. So Ronnie, he's pretty much in the trash bins recycling stuff, looking for plastic bottles, aluminum cans to turn in and get money. So the little lady working there, she like, okay, I see you, Ronnie. I ain't seen you in a while. So she pretty much like, hey, you keep, you know what I'm saying, making this money. You have enough money to take me on a date. And Ronnie looking at her like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me look at that face. She up there. Ronnie like, I'm good. I'm seeing somebody. So she pretty much start going in on Ronnie, making jokes, talking about who you seeing, what's her name? Brandy, you know what I'm saying? Hennessy. Pretty much just saying, you ain't got no girl, man. You just using this money to drink it. Ronnie's like, whatever I'm doing is better than laid up with you, man. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Hey, more power to you. So Kev was following his mom and Dre. They went to the school to go talk to the principal to see if she at least went to school. Because Keisha may do some foul stuff, but her mama knows she ain't never gonna miss no school. But when they get there and talk to the principal's like, nah, we ain't seen her. So Dre's pretty much trying to calm her down, like, hey, just calm down, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna find her. We don't know what's wrong. This whole time, Kev was outside. He didn't go to school. he was waiting to go talk to Keisha's friend Blaze. So he pulls up on her and he's like, "Hey man, why you ain't answering my text?" And she pretty much goes on a rant like, "Man, you ain't my dude. I ain't gotta respond to you." So he's like, "Hey, I need to get in touch with Keisha. Have you seen my sister?" She's like, "Nah, I ain't heard from her since Sunday." And then he's like, "Well, do you have her boyfriend's like number?" And then she's like, "Why would I have her boyfriend's number on my phone?" Which makes sense. Like, man, it ain't your dude, so who knows? But Kev, he trying to find out where his sister is, so he asking, "Do you know his name? Where he, like his number, his address, or anything?" So she pretty much tells him his name is Nook, and he lives on 63rd. So we already know that this is about to be bad, man. Especially in the shy. Oh man, a dude named Nook. First of all, that's no good. And then he run over on 63rd. I don't know where 63rd is, but I can assume it's the bad side of town, man. So hey, good luck to you, Kev, man. Holla at me. Let me know if you find her, cause I'm gonna be right here chilling. We get to see my young boy Jake. So Jake pretty much walks up in the house and he sees old boy conducting a little meeting with a guy. And Jake came in with his shoes and he dropped the basketball. So he turns around and he looks at Jake like, "Hey man, you forgot the rules in the house?" Jake's like, "Nah," but pretty much the rule is on the hardwood floor, you only wear your good shoes. You don't wear your street shoes, your ball shoes, or whatever you got on. Anything that you do in any recreational activity in, you don't wear them on the hardwood floor. We all know that. When you come in, you take your shoes off at the door. So pretty much he asked Jake, "Man, what, you don't want to live here no more?" He's like, "No, I want to live here." He's like, "I should probably let your brother Trig come and get you." And Jake and Trig, they haven't really, been around each other for a long time. It was more Jake and Reg. But he's like, "Nah, man, Trig is dead." And he's like, "Nah, what, you want to go live with Trig? Because he ain't dead." Well, Jake says, "Well, he's dead to me." And he's like, "Nah." But he's looking for you. He wants to talk. And Jake's pretty much like, "Man, nah, I ain't with that, man." I mean, I feel where he's coming from, because if you haven't been around a sibling for years, it's like, man, I don't have a connection with them, and then they disappeared. Forget all that, man. We get to see Trig, and Trig at the house with his girl, whatever. She cutting them up, getting that fresh line. We all can use one this epidemic. Look at this, man. No line, no nothing. My hair trash. But he getting a haircut, and they talking to each other, and she pretty much like, we need to figure out what we're gonna do about your brother. Because you want him to come live here, but he ain't like no little kid. He's 15, man. You sure he wants to come? So Trig's like, "Man, I'm going to do whatever I can to get him." But then he goes on a spiel of thinking about his dad. So he used to say his dad used to have very rough hands because he used to work nonstop. So whenever he would get home, he would come rub their head and stuff, just talking to his kids. And he said every day he thinks about his dad and how rough his hands were. But it makes him remember his dad was hustling to do everything he could, for his family. He used to work for the mayor's office and he would complain about like the living conditions and everything that wasn't good for the people in the black community. But unfortunately, back in that time, this probably had to be like the 90s when this was happening. For a black person to complain about something and you work, like say you work for the mayor, but you're complaining to the mayor about what's going on, it's making the mayor look bad because it looks like he's not doing his job. He's not actually helping out the people that need it, which is normally us black folk, man. So they fired his dad. And after that, that's pretty much like after he lost his job, he pretty much left the family. So it was all three of the boys, Jake, Reg, and Trig. But I mean, it's gonna happen like that. But after all of this, Trig's girl's like, "Man, you know what? Forget it. Let's go out." So Trig's like, "What's the occasion?" She like, "Me. I'm the occasion." So he's like, "All right, well, I guess she said what she had to say. We got to get up out of here, man." So Jada making her way around the city. So right now she just came to a speed dating thing. I don't know if I will ever do speed dating just because I got to get up, talk to somebody 30, 40 seconds. I don't know how long it is, but if I come up to somebody I'm not interested in, ding, 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 please ring the bell, please. But anyway, so Jada, she's not good with it either. So if me and her matched up, it definitely wouldn't work. The first guy she sits with, he asked, "Hey, what do you like to do for fun?" She was like, "Sleep." He was like, that doesn't sound like fun. "What about any hobbies? You got any hobbies?" She's like, would sleep be one?" He's just like, I'm good. I'll pass on this one. The next guy comes up. She's talking to him like, "Hey, I'm not good with this stuff." And he's like, "Okay, so what do you normally do?" "Well, I have grandkids." You're like, "Grandkids? yeah, you a little too old to be in here. Then the third guy, he's Asian, so he's kind of cool. He hears her out. He sits down. He talks to her, and she like, well, I'm not used to this. I don't know how to do this, but I have grandkids, and I'm just saying looking for someone to talk to and stuff. And he's like, okay, cool. Well, none of that turns me off, but this is where she messes up. She asks, so what part of Asia are you from? It's like Asia. No, I'm from here. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Then she said, so what about your parents? And he's like, like these are awkward questions, but my parents are from here also. So pretty much she just went far left with it, like, where you from? Are you from Asia? Nah, not all Asians are from Asia. Just like all Africans, we ain't from Africa. I was born in Missouri, you know what I'm saying? Kansas City to be exact. Oh, dang, Jada. A couple of the young dudes, they take Ronnie home. They were talking to him at the bar and pretty much like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Where you live at? You're not in a cult or anything. And Ronnie's like, nah, I ain't in no cult, man. I got me a spot. So they ended up taking him home. He got his little cart in the back of the truck. And they like, man, if you would have told us you were living out here, like on Skid Row, you know what I'm saying? We would let you come stay with us at one of our places. He like, nah, man, this is the only place I feel like it's home, and they respect me out here. Now, I can understand, like, man, when you been there so long, he's dapping up everybody. Everybody see him like, Ronnie. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's showing him love, but I mean, some people that just they don't need much. And for Ronnie, he's like, man, for me getting back together, this is where I need to live, man. I'm good out here. Everybody knows me. Everything's good. Jada pulls up on Tiffany, you know what I'm saying? Tiffany looking all good stuff. Hey, when you leave Emmett, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I got you and the baby. But she pretty much like, hey, I tried that speed dating thing you talk about, and it didn't work for me. I'm just looking for something simple. A guy that take me to go listen to some jazz and maybe a trip to Jamaica every now and then. And Tiffany's like, pretty much like, you don't need to be going on dates. You just need someone who's gonna blow your back out. So she has a card in her pocket. See, that right there already tells me Emmy, she ain't, you know what I'm saying, she ain't really with you. She got my boy Sway's number in her pocket talking about, you take this man's number, he'll give you a massage and he'll blow your back out. Jada's like, that sounds like it'll hurt. Tiffany's like, yeah, it will, but in a good way. So Jada pretty much takes it, and I don't know why my boo got it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why Tiffany had the number, but she didn't. Now Miss Jada got it. Miss Jada about to get her groove on. So Trig and this girl, they went out for their special occasion. They went to a nice little bar, you know what I'm saying? They in there singing. My boy Trig at the bar, you know what I'm saying? Pouring up for the good life. And then, you know what I'm saying, the guy comes over and he's talking to her like, hey, man, hey, what you been looking for in here? And Trig's like, shit, nothing. He's like, nah, I thought you was looking at me. Turns out they're in a gay bar. So the dude hitting on Trig, and Trig's like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying, I ain't like that. And the gay dude's like, well, if you haven't noticed, you in the gay bar. I would have been looking around like, oh, this is a gay bar. But he's like, yeah, you in the gay bar. I'm tired of all you straight dudes coming in here acting like y'all better than us and with your muscle shirts and stuff. And Trig is just, man, he about to lose it because he ain't gay, he said. So he pushes the dude and his girl comes over and stops it like, hey, no, it's all good. So Trig apologizes to her and she's like, nah, don't apologize to me. You gotta apologize to him. So he's like, he's sorry. So they didn't get outside, and as you can see, they're talking about it. He's like, man, we could have just stayed in the house. He's pretty much trying to tell the girl he's not gay. But, I mean, she's transgender, so it's a woman now. So, in their eyes, you're not gay. But she's pretty much telling them, like, you can't love me but not love the guy that's me also. You know what I'm saying? That I was. And Trig just like, man, he's confused. He don't know what's going on. But, I mean, this is the life you living now, bro. Like, you got a transgender woman. It doesn't, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want. That's what you want. You just gotta understand. You gotta love them for who they were to understand who they are. So when Miss Jada went over to talk to Tiffany to tell her about the speed dating, she brought her some food too and told her about the lady that makes it. Tiffany ended up feeding Emmett some of the food, and Emmett was like, dang, this is good. I need that lady's number. So she gives her the number. The next day, Emmett pulls up on the house. Boom, 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 boom. Knocks on the door. Lady answered. It turned out it's Lala. He's like, hey, can I speak to Dominique? She like, don't nobody call me that. So he's like, hey, man, well, I got a business proposition for you. So she takes him in the house. They go past. It's a dining room. It's got probably like 4 tables, but it's packed in there. I'm talking about everybody's eating. I can smell the food. Now she going to the kitchen. And oh my gosh, she got that thing behind her too. I'm talking, yeah. But anyway, she's telling him like, I cook whatever's in season. So he's like, all right, cool. Well, my catering company, I need a chef, so we can make a lot of money. She's like, I don't work for nobody. He's like, well, look, man, we can make so much money. Let me try a plate, you know what I'm saying, and let's get this money together. So she's like, all right, cool. She cooks. I'm talking about she makes everything for. I don't even know what all he had, but I know at the end she's like, so you gonna leave without eating my peach cobbler? So he tries some of the peach cobbler, and he eats that, and then he looks at her like, girl, you gonna make me risk it all. Cause that's what I'm talking about right there, you know what I'm saying? But it looks like he about to go into business. He about to have a legit chef. He about to really be making some money. I can already see him, you know what I'm saying, tearing up the block. So he pretty much writes down the address like, hey, come to this kitchen after 10 o'clock, but come by yourself. Because, you know, he doesn't own the kitchen, so he just has to go somewhere else and use the kitchen at night. We get to see the whole crew. That's what I'm going to start calling. When I say the crew, I'm talking about Jake, Papa, and Kev. When I say the crew, that's them three. So them three, the crew, they at work. And Kev is pretty much telling me, hey, I got this dude named Nuke's name, and I know he live over on 63rd, man. We're going to have to slide through there to see if we can find Keisha. Turns out Trig pulled up and he wanted to talk to Jake, so Jake comes out back, and like you said, to Jake, he's saying Trig is pretty much dead to him because he ain't seen him. But Trig is like, nah, man, when you were little, I should take you and all your friends to Six Flags. Like, I was around a lot, man. I got a house, a backyard, man. I want you to come live with me. And Jake's like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? Let's just take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Let's not rush that fast to me just moving in with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen you in years. So Trigger's like, all right, cool, we can work with that. So it's cool to see the brothers about to get back on the same, you know what I'm saying, back on the same path with each other. That's what it's all about, man, you and your siblings. So Mama Jada, you know what I'm saying, she called up my boy Sway, like, hey, pull up. So he pulls up, you know what I'm saying, he giving her the full massage and everything, you know what I'm saying, he's like, let me know, you know what I'm saying, let me know if I'm going too deep, you know what I'm saying, because I can go deeper. And she's like, oh, really? So she turns around, she looks at him, which leads straight to the bed. I'm talking about young boy was putting in that work, man. I'm telling you, like, he ain't never had no grandma like that, boy. He was putting in work. He even got done. He told her, you know what? You ain't got to tip me. That was enough. And you know, matter of fact, you get a discount. So I'm probably sure he gave her 50, 75% off, as long as he can come back and smash that again. Turns out, old boy went to school with Emmett. So here we see they coming outside, and he's like, okay, yeah, you still doing massages? He's like, yeah, I am. He's like, but I'm getting paid for it now. So Emmett's like, oh, you giving happy Indians? He's like, yeah. He's like, so where'd you come from? He was like, apartment 2B. Emmett's like, hey, man, you mess with my mama? So he pretty much runs off and everything. And Emmett goes upstairs and he talking to his mom, like, man, you can't be doing that, man. I went to school with him. And hey, you know what mama say? Hey, I'm a grown woman. I gotta get my groove on too. That, hey, what would you do if you found out your mom was smashing somebody you went to school with? Comment below. So Dre pulls up the Skid Row. That's just what I'm gonna call it, Skid Row, because that's all I think about when I see like where homeless people are living. But Dre pulls up on Ronnie, like, hey man, look, Keisha's phone is popping up out here. I got to find my iPhone. It's looking like it's around here. So you know where it is. And I know who you are and you know Keisha. So I'm coming to you looking for it. So Ronnie's like, man, I don't know where it is. But it turns out one of the white guys had found the phone that Sunday. So he runs over there. He throws him out his tent. He's looking for it. He finds the phone and he gives it back to Dre. Like, man, look, I ain't had nothing to do with this, man. Old boy said he found the phone. So here's the phone, man. And Dre's like, hey, look. If I find out that anything happened to Keisha and I gotta come back here, I'm gonna kill you. Like, I'm gonna kill you. So Ronnie's like, man, I ain't even do nothing. Like, I have nothing to do with this. For the one time I did something right in life and it was not mess up. So I don't know how this is gonna turn out, man, but my boy ain't had nothing to do with it, man. So the crew gets their bikes. They headed to 63rd, man. I don't know why they waited so late to go, but I'm not pulling up to 63rd on no dude named Nuke in the middle of the night. That's just me personally, but man, when you're looking for your sister, you gotta do what you gotta do. So they pull up. It's a dude outside. This is a trap house. There's a dude outside the fence. They walk past him. They knock on the door. Do. Nuke opens up the door, and Papa's like, hey, man, we gotta get up out of here. Because Papa already said, man, I can't fight, but they doing it for Keisha, so they still there. And Kev, he just, you know what I'm saying, he looking for his sister. So he's like, hey, my sister in there. And Nuke's telling him, hey man, y'all need to get up out of here. This ain't no problem y'all won't. And Kev's telling him, hey man, I'm not leaving without my sister. So he pulls the gun out and puts it in Kev's face. And Kev's like, hey, do what you gotta do. And that there's the end of episode 2, man. Crazy, bro. Hey, that's episode 2 of The Shot. I got 2 questions for you. Comment below. Do you think Emmett and Dominique about to get this money? I think they about to get some money. I think he might even get in a little bit of trouble with trying to mess with Dominique. And what do you think is going to happen with Kev at Nuke's house? Do y'all think Keisha's in the house? Comment below. Let me know what y'all think. But like I say, I'm Moedotj, man. Thank you for watching. Like I said, man, if you can do it, hit the subscribe button for me. Every subscription works, and it helps me out and helps me grow. We on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We'll be here next week for episode 3. I'm Moedotj. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.